Hoo boy. Alright, let's see if this is functioning properly, or if I just sound terrible on the live stream. Let me see here. How do I sound? Okay, that sounds alright. I can deal with that. That's okay. That doesn't sound too bad. Yeah, hello everybody. We're doing a fucking live stream thing. I'm surprised that the computer is actually able to run this relatively okay. I've tested out live streaming on this computer previously. This is my laptop, which doesn't work entirely too well. But I installed, okay. So you know how Linux has different versions that you can run? Well, I recently found out that this version of Linux that I'm using is Ubuntu. There's multiple skins that you can choose to make Ubuntu run more efficiently, and so I picked out this skin called LXDE, which basically runs off of similar software to Lubuntu. Now, Lubuntu is the lightweight version of Linux. It's the most lightweight that you can go in terms of an Ubuntu framework. At least that's what I thought. It turned out that this LXDE skin existed, and I tried it out. It ran better than Cinnamon. It ran better than Ubuntu at its core. It ran better than Lubuntu. And so I've been using this one a lot more to just do everything, because it runs much better on this computer. Whereas when I was running just the normal Ubuntu version, it was going a lot slower. In general, it would take longer for the computer to boot up, and so I'm very happy with having installed this version, because the thing is that when you show up at the home screen, when you start out on the computer, it'll give you multiple skin options that you can choose that essentially better optimize the hardware, make it to where, it'll go slower or faster depending on whichever one you chose. And I think that's a really useful tool, because I might like the aesthetics more of one, but I have a difficult computing task that I'll have to do that might require that I use one that uses less resources on the computer. And it's amazing to me the way that these little software tweaks, the way that they've made it to where the computer is just optimizing resources differently, that it can run entire programs better as a result of that. That's one of the amazing things about Linux, is that I wish more software covered it, because I would just use it all of the time if I could, because I can install something like LXDE on my Ubuntu machine and it'll run 10 times better than Ubuntu did. Like, if I had tried to use OBS while playing Minecraftah, which is what I'm playing right now, on just the normal Ubuntu framework, it would have freaked out on this machine. And then in the process of the game running all slow and the footage barely recording properly, another thing that would have happened was that the computer would be just screeching, like the fan would be going super loud, and it would be difficult to hear what was actually in the game, because the fan would just be so loud. And now, as I'm playing the game right now, the fan is like barely noticeable, like it's barely on. And that's one of the incredible things about this distribution, is that it's operating under the same framework, so all of your previously installed programs are going to work fine because it's on the same machine and you can switch back at any moment. But at the same time, you're going to be able to use these programs that at a lower speed, or at a higher speed, I should say. So it makes everything more optimal, in my opinion. This world is so boring and desolate. There's just nothing but snow. I keep on generating these different worlds, and I always get caught up in a place where there's just nothing but snow. It's the most annoying thing in the universe. I don't know if this is just a thing with Minecraft, is that if Minecraft does this specifically, where when you start up a new world, it will just send you into this snowy wasteland, and you have to keep going on and on and on until you can eventually find a place that's more suitable. And it's the most annoying thing. I don't know if it's just Minecraft that does this, or if I'm particularly unlucky as a player in terms of getting worlds generated for me, but I've seen other people play this game, and they don't always end up with really snowy levels, so I don't know. Maybe it's just the overuse of certain assets. I have no idea. Let me see, is there anybody in the chat, if there's anyone watching right now? Let me see here. Pop out chat. Okay, let me turn on... Okay, that's the top chat. I'll turn on the live chat. Cool. Yeah, this was something that I was doing earlier, was that I had the I had the command line opened, is that I was trying to get this YouTube download, YouTube DL thing to work, because this is something that's existed since like 2006. It's been around for quite some time, and I wanted to use it to download all of the videos on my channel to back up all the ones that haven't been backed up. Anyway, I think I'm going to try to build a new world, because that one didn't quite pan out yet. Let me delete that. New map version. I think possibly this has something to do with it. You go version 7, flat, valleys, single node. Just try out different things, I suppose. Perhaps this one will be more efficient? Oh man, already this looks better. Where's the wood? Where is the wood located, my man? Let me see here. Yeah, no more snow. Those fucking faggots and their goddamn snow. I am absolutely disgusted. Listen, man, this is 10 times better than real Minecraft. All I need is freeware content. Freeware content forever. Let's just live as pirates. For what is not free, we can pirate it and try and make it work to the best we can on our limited hardware. For what is free, we'll use it forever. Open source and free stuff forever. You don't need anything else, man. That's not actually true, but you don't need anything else, man. Never. Absolutely not. Whoa. I've never seen wood like this before. Is this something exclusive to Minecraft? I don't even know. Oh yeah, this is jungle wood. Okay. Listen, man, I have not played Minecraft in like a long time. So what may seem obvious to other people is not obvious to me at all. I like how the majority of this game just is like gathering resources, because, you know, when I'm playing an RPG, for instance, right, you're just fighting the same enemies over and over and over again with the hopes of eventually fighting somebody who's cooler, progressing in the story in some way. And the thing with Minecraft is that it doesn't have a story, but it feels like the narrative of the game is the fact that you are progressing in some way, that like you're getting to build cooler and cooler things as you survive in this, you know, I don't want to use the word desolate because I feel like I use that word a lot, but you know, it feels like you're kind of living the Henry David Thoreau lifestyle of talking about, oh yeah, you know, we're gonna seclude ourselves in the woods and only dedicate ourselves to intellectual and survival pursuits. It's that kind of thing. And that type of mindset is something that I'm deeply fascinated by. As someone who spends the majority of the time in their room and has for the majority of my life, I think it can be very appealing to read about and see these types of lifestyles where people are essentially doing the same thing. They're getting solitude, but they're doing so in the wilderness while living off the land, not having to worry about their next paycheck. They're just able to build a cabin in the woods and then get on with their life. You go off to Montana or something like that, and then people just kind of forget about you. I think for a lot of people who are lonesome souls, people who just intrinsically withdraw, I think that type of aesthetic, that type of idea can be very appealing to them. I think that's one of the reasons why something like anarcho-primitivism, got really big in the NEET community, if you even want to call it a community, with people who are unemployed. That's a ideology that you see around every now and again, and I think the reason is because it applies this more naturalistic, traditional lifestyle to the lifestyle of people who are, by their nature, seeking solitude. And so it can give them a new sense of purpose, not having to worry about, do I get a job, or, do I have to go outside to see other people, when what they could do is just build a house in the woods, by their own sweat and blood. They stay with a cat as their only company, and they continue dedicating themselves to writing and reading and so on. They just live off the land. For people who are, by their nature, introverted, spend a lot of time in solitude, that type of thing can be very, very appealing to them. I think Minecraft kind of gives us a glimpse into that type of lifestyle, if but a short one, a small one. Obviously, you're still running around breaking bricks in Minecraftah, but for as many brown bricks as there are, I think there's also an emotional component to that for a lot of people, when they come home from work and they think, oh man, I wish I was unemployed again. I wish I had something that I was doing that wasn't what I do every day. They can play Minecraft and it can kind of give them this intrinsic value. They feel satisfied for being able to rise above the ranks and continue going forward in this video game where they're just building stuff out in the woods the way that they view their ideal life as being. So I think there's something very special about that. But, if you take it at its face value, on the surface, what the game is just doing this. It's just gathering lots and lots of resources until you can eventually build yourself bigger and better things to keep out monsters, and then you just continue doing that. I mean, does anyone really go to the end of the game? Does anyone really play Minecraft to get to the end point where you go to that, what was it called? It was called like the Never or something like that. It was like this weird hellish nightmare place that you're supposed to get to. Now see, back when I was a kid, in what year was it? It was in elementary school. Is that we got these Minecraft books. They were books that explained to you how to play the game, how to craft everything. I had internet at home, so I don't know why I bought these books. I guess I bought them just for the physical novelty of them, to have it to where I could look something up quickly, but they explained everything to you. They were very detailed books on how to play the game to the most effective way. And I had lots of friends in school who, oh shit. Okay, I guess that stuff falls down. I had lots of friends in school who wanted to get all the way to the end of the game and to do it the way that you're supposed to. And I guess I never really understood that. I never really understood this mindset of like needing to complete it, of needing to get to the end point in the game in order to have the battle with the big black characters. See, I don't even remember what they are. That's the thing, is that I don't remember what these characters are. I just remember that there was there was a big struggle to get to the end. And I didn't understand that. I always just wanted to be Apollonian and just build stuff. Live out on my own in this pretend world. That was what I was always going for when I played Minecraft as a kid. And everyone else, they had this bigger goal that they aspired to beat the game and to make it as far as you could on survival mode. I didn't understand that. I wanted to build cool structures while also having limited resources, because part of the appeal for me was the idea that I could build cool stuff while having to work for that cool stuff. So I would spend many, many hours grinding for resources just so I could build the ideal home, for instance. And that was how I did it. You know, I liked not just getting all of my cards aligned on creative mode, because I wasn't particularly creative. Now, the point of creative mode is that you have all of the resources there to just do something cool. But I was never creative or smart enough as a kid to be able to do that. Is that I would have friends who, you know, well, I mean friends loosely speaking. These were just kind of people who I talked to every now and again at school, who knew all of these special tricks and knew how to build all of these cool things. Now, to this day, I still don't really know how to do that. I just always built simple structures, is that I enjoyed building the same things again and again in Minecraft. Because I found the act of being distracted by it comfy in and of itself. Comfy, excuse me. And so I would just continue walking the line again and again, you know, building houses, building roads and such. Sometimes I would build a house inside of a mountain, or, you know, something a bit more adventurous, but it was never anything particularly astounding. You know, I was always kind of doing the same thing. And it didn't make sense to me to play the game the way that everybody else was. I always just wanted to feel like I was living inside of Minecraft, and I felt that the only way to do that was to combine your life's routine with the game. You know, I've always been the type of person who, when I get really into something, it shows, because I'll want to do that thing all the time. And so with Minecraft, I would wake up, I would play the game, and then I wouldn't do much of anything else. I would just wake up and play the game. And so on a very literal level, it felt like my life's schedule was matching up with the game itself. And so it was as if I had lived in that world, you see. Oh my god, I fucking hate these things. Okay, I need to use gravel then, if I'm gonna get up here. Oh, they do it too. Fantastic. Okay. Shit. Okay. I need to get up there so I can get more wood. Okay. Let me see here. Oh boy, it's almost nighttime up here. I gotta move fast if I'm gonna make a home. Then I gotta put a door burgeoning up from there so I can walk in from up here to get more wood later. But yeah, like I just liked the idea of feeling as if I was in this world. I think that's a trend that I've had with a lot of video games throughout my life, is that I've always played them in a very specific way of trying to maximize immersion rather than maximize sheer accomplishment alone. Is that I see a lot of people, they play in a very studied way. They tend to have specific goals in mind, and yeah, that can be nice, but there was something kind of nice to me about just grinding and grinding and grinding, because I was always focused on a bunch of little tasks, and so I never got too off task, because I always had something to do. And then there were other times when I just wanted to explore. I just wanted to be taken in by the environment, because I didn't want to experience the real world. It's I don't know, I've always been like this. I've always chose video games over experiencing real life, because I find real life to be very boring. And so I'm happy that video games exist, because otherwise I don't know what else I would do. me see here. Let me look at the chat. I want to see if there's anybody in here. No one is talking in the live chat. Okay. Unless someone got banned somehow. I don't think I actually have mods on my stream, so that would be confusing if that did happen. Let me see here. But I've found myself getting more and more bored by just existing as of late, and I've played a lot more of this mind test thing because I remembered that it's actually free on Ubuntu, is that you can just go to the store that Ubuntu has and then you can just get mind test. And it's like a near perfect replica of Minecraft anyway, for all of the functions that I need it for. And so I've been really happy just playing through this game, just endlessly just doing the same things, you know? It's a very like autistic experience, I would say. Okay, we have a floor now. Now my objective is to figure out how the hell do I make coherent stairs and a roof in here? Because this shit right here, we're not having it. This is not coherent stairs. This is not what any of us would call coherent. So I need to figure out how I can make stairs that are actually good. And so I think I would want to start here. Okay, I need my pickaxe for that. Okay. So this is where it starts, is that it goes up here. But the problem is that once you get over here, right, is that, you know, you have to start working your way up. And so I need to figure out, okay, so this part is a blind spot right here, so I can just fill this up. So I walk up through here. Oh, I can just jump up here. And then there's all this stuff. Now, see, what I don't like is that there's all this stuff separating me from the cave. So that I feel like if I were to have a coherent base, you know, I would need something a bit more, how do I say this? Something, you know, something that covers the whole roof, not like all of these blocks just going around everywhere. So that's what I'm gonna do right now. I'm gonna build a roof from this point onward. I think this is a good place to start. There's all this fucking dirt here, man. It's like I'm living in a pigsty. Both IRL and in-game. Ooh, that was a funny joke. You see what I did there? He's unemployed. Let me see here. Okay. This is the most expert Minecraft playing in the world, by the way. I'm like a pro, dude. You don't even know. I'm so much of a pro MLG gamer. You don't even know. I'm like the biggest pro in the world. Okay. What the hell? Okay. I'm so much of a pro, dude. Look at this. Like, how can you even disagree with a single thing that I've said, because I am so much of a pro, bro. Listen, man. Facts don't care about your feelings. This is a fact, that I'm a pro at Minecraft. I'm so much of a pro that I have to play the free Linux version, dude. That's not even made by the official company. I mean, this is kind of like anarchism in action, right? Is that the whole idea of anarchism is that, you know, everyone's taken care of and everyone works to add their part to society, and the internet is free. You know, you can get things that you want on the internet because there's a dedicated group of people who decide to make them. I mean, this is kind of what open source software is. So a lot of people claim, you know, oh, these more anarchistic principles couldn't exist in reality. But if you look at the internet, the entire thing is just, what is it? It's just mutual aid, people trying to build things because they care about them, not because they're being told to make money. I think that's pretty anarchist, if you ask me. Let me see here. So a lot of our lives actually function around these principles. That's one of the things that, like, they say, oh, you wouldn't have any incentive if post-scarcity happened. Well, I mean, look at everyday life. People are making stuff like Minecraftah. It happens every day. So, of course, there would be some kind of motivation, or else these things that we like and play just wouldn't exist. I mean, Dota 2 modders, do you think those people would just be making Dota 2 mods because they were paid to do it? No one's gonna pay for that. The reason they're making mods of the game is because they care about it, and they're willing to put in thousands of hours just working on one project because they care about that project. It's the same thing with something like this, or just Linux in general. It's open source. It's updated on an open source basis, man. Like, people who just care about computers are the people who make it to where videos like this are possible, because that's what I'm using. You know, I'm using a special version of Linux that allows me to be able to make this content more effectively as a result of system optimization of resources. And, you know, if this LXDE version didn't exist, I would just be using Ubuntu. You know, I would just be using regular old Ubuntu, and then it would be much, much slower. So, you know, it's just a thought, you know. This is what governs our lives. These are the reasons why we have these great things, is because people have come together and decided to work together on them to make them exist. Let me look at the chat if anyone's saying anything. Minecraft, a very autistic experience, IGN. For as much shit as people give Mike Matei for that Minecraftah video, the first two Cinemassacre videos about Inspector Gadget were pretty funny. I don't remember watching them, but I'm sure they were probably okay. Like Mike Matei isn't like a retarded guy. Like, he's not just terrible at being funny. If you watch James and Mike Mondays, for instance, which I don't watch every episode of that show the way that I used to back when I was a huge fan. I would watch every episode of James and Mike Mondays, but some of his stuff can be pretty funny, and like, for as much shit as people give Mike Matei, a lot of the episodes of AVGN would just not be the same. They just wouldn't be as good without him, because Mike works on the scripts with James at times, and you know, he gives direct assistance in terms of props and stuff, sometimes dressing up as the characters. I remember like only seeing clips from the Minecraftah video. I never actually watched the real thing. It's so much of a meme at this point that I feel like most people know what it is when you talk about it. Okay, this is like, I'm using pro strats right here. This is pro skills. I'm just going to go straight down. Why not? Well, okay, not straight down. That's just retarded. We have to keep going until we find diamonds. This is how Minecraft works. You just make a staircase until you get all the way down. Power management. System is running on low power. That means that I have to put the laptop down and go grab the charging cord. And then pull said charging cord to all the way to the other side of the room. LX panel. What did I just click? I clicked something by accident. See, if I had enough sanity, or maybe lack thereof, I would actually stream real video games instead of just whatever it is that I can get to work on my Linux laptop. But I don't particularly like the idea of filming the screen, because the weird thing about YouTube live streaming is that you can do live streams over the phone, which I've done one time in the past, but they only allow it for channels that have 1,000 subs. And so on my main channel, I have 1,000 subs. Therefore, I would be technically allowed to live stream, from my phone. But because I got banned for trying to live stream anime while watching it, I ended up getting banned for what is it? Something like 90 days, and I still haven't gotten the full 90 days served yet. And so I just have to wait. I just have to wait to be able to live stream on the main channel, because I was stupid enough to live stream myself watching anime. Anime that was on YouTube, by the way. I didn't think I was going to get copyright claimed because the anime had already existed on YouTube. So why would they copyright claim me for something like that? It's just stupid. Okay, this is our house. It's not looking too good. I'm sure she's seen better days in alternate timelines that definitely exist, but it's the best we can do on a low budget, man. Come on, cut me some slack. It's the best we can do. Okay, I'm just putting torches here so I can remember where the damn thing is. Maybe I should build a house on top of it. Maybe that can be the mine, and then there's a second house. No, that's a terrible idea. What I really need to do is get out of this jungle. I need to go somewhere else. I need to find a bed. Let me see. I don't even know if this is a version of Minecraftah that has creepers and so on and so forth, because I know there's certain mods and stuff that you can use, or certain versions of the game that just get rid of them entirely. I don't know if this is like one of those. This is the most exhilarating experience in the universe. Everyone should give me money on Patreon just for making this live stream. Everyone in the universe. What anime was it? Love your videos, by the way. What anime was what? Did I mention an anime? I apologize if I mentioned something and then don't remember. If you could clarify, I could tell you. Love your videos, by the way. Thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah, there's... I feel like I just randomly name drop things, and then I totally forget about it. Is that, like, I'll say, oh yeah, this happened 5 months ago, and then I won't even remember what I said. That's how bad my short-term memory is that, like... Yeah, people watch my videos or they read my writing and they say, oh wow, Outlaw, you're smart. But when you actually talk to me directly, my memory is really bad. And so I'll just forget most things after I say them. The one you live streamed... Oh, okay, the one I live streamed myself watching. I can pull that up right now, actually. If I can remember it. It's called, like, Kuroko-san Cat Anime. I think it's called something like that. Let me see. No? Possibly not. Let me just look up. Okay. Cat Anime 1990s. Because I know it's from the 90s. I just don't remember what the name is. Uh, this is a terrible search. This isn't gonna find me anything. Is it? Oh, he's a cyborg. Oh, Kiro-chan, cyborg Kiro-chan. Okay, this was the show. Okay, yeah, I don't know why it took me so long to remember, but this show, it has some Ren and Stimpy vibes. I'm not gonna lie, like it's very similar to Western cartoons because it has this emphasis on like violence and making the character very rebellious and one of these people who you're like, oh, this isn't the type of anime you'd see in school, that type of thing. And because it's a comedy show, it feels very akin to stuff that you would watch in the U.S. Like, I think it's actually kind of similar to like Super Babies or something like that from the 90s, but like actually good. So there's a lot of violence. The character has a really cute personality, but there's only like 2 episodes that were subtitled that I found, and so I was watching the 2 episodes that exist on stream, and I thought it was a fun show. It was pretty cute. Also, is that a Lane avatar? Let me see here. I wanna see if this is a Lane avatar. If it is, this very woke taste you have there, my friend. Oh wow, it is a Lane avatar. Cool. Yeah. People who have Lane avatars have like objectively better taste than everyone else. This is just a fact. I say that like it's ironic, but at the same time it is also true. Okay, what am I even doing at this point? Where am I? Okay, I should go over here. Minecraft is the most wholesome game in the universe. Like, even when I talk about playing it in 2013, it's been like it's been like 6 years since then. So I don't know why I almost said 4 years. It's been like 6 years since 2013, and I still am able to just sit here and play it the way that I did back then. There was this website that I used to use back when I was first getting into the game that allowed you to download like a free version. The thing is that like it was very obviously a hack. Like when I went to school in let's see when was that? 2016? Yeah, 2016. When I went to school in around January of that year, well, no, actually, no, it was 2015 that I started 5th grade. What am I even saying? So it was 2015 that I started school that year, and it was around January or February of that time, and we would go to the computer lab, and I was older than everyone else in there because I was held back a year, and so I would be in there like, feeling kind of out of place because I felt like my interests didn't really suit people who were in 5th grade at the time. But they showed me something really cool that I didn't know about, was that there was a website where you could stream Minecraft directly. And so whenever everyone would get done with their work in the computer lab, we would always start playing Minecraft on this shady, free website. And it was so much fun. And I remember 2 years prior, in 2013, I discovered this website where I could get a hacked copy of the game for free, and it didn't really function right. There were a lot of problems and stuff, but for me, using my Windows XP laptop, or rather my mom's Windows XP laptop at the time, it was perfect for recording Let's Plays of the game, which I posted up on YouTube. Now, most of those videos are gone at this point. Actually, all of those videos are gone at this point. The only surviving copies of them are probably still on that laptop. The thing is that the laptop has been broken for quite some time, and so in order to recover the data, the laptop would have to be fixed if the hard drive is even still working. but I would be interested to go back and actually find those videos so I can show you guys the origins of Infinite Outlaw. Now, before I venture down here, let me see what the chat is saying. Sounds like a fun show, yeah. And then it is. I'm assuming you're talking about Lane being it is. Yeah, it is good. Yeah, Kuru-chan is it's good stuff. I only watched the first episode. I felt demotivated to go through the rest because, like I said, most of it hadn't been translated. If I could just speak Japanese, man, this would be so much easier. But speaking Japanese is very hard, and I don't want to put in... I have a Remembering the Kanji book on my desk right now that I could just pull out and learn, but I'm very lazy. James Heisig's Remembering the Kanji, like, there was a point where I had actually started memorizing a good deal of it because of that book, and the reason why is because it assigns a specific story to each kanji character, and so it makes it a lot easier to remember them, because traditionally when you do this rudimentary method that schools give you, you know, you just have to keep on repeating the same lines again and again, you know, write this character out 50 times. Well, okay, that sounds fine when you have to do it for one, but when you have to do it for 2,000, it's a bit demotivating. And so a lot of people just give up because they have to write out the same characters hundreds and hundreds of times. Japanese students typically take, like, what is it, like 10 years to learn their own language, and that's with having to see it everywhere throughout their time growing up. So with English speakers, it's totally daunting. It makes us feel horrible having to learn these characters, because we know it's going to be 15 years of having to do it if you do it through this traditional method. But what's great about this book is that it gives you a fun way of learning the kanji, and so you can just apply stories to all of the kanji characters. Now there's a YouTuber called Abroad in Japan. Let me see if I can find his channel. Is that he actually, if I just go to YouTube, I can look it up. But he has, actually no, I can just Google it. Abroad in Japan kanji. So he has this video where he talks about this book, and that was what initially turned me on to it. This guy's really funny in general. I like his videos a lot. It's that if you want to learn Japanese, I mean, obviously I'm no expert at it, but I would recommend watching this guy because he can make points, and he'll make very memorable points just through these simply edited videos, just as vlogs, and you know, he can put comedy in there and stuff, and it's really good. But I found this book, Remembering the Kanji, from him, and I've read through a bit of it, and I've tried applying it back when I was learning Japanese. And generally speaking, it is applicable stuff. Like, it's no scam. This book wouldn't have been, you know, touted as great work since the 1970s if it didn't have at least some applicability. And so, if you ever want to learn Japanese, Remembering the Kanji by James Heisig is a good place to start. I just need to get off my lazy ass and just actually study if I want to move forward in that endeavor. It's just that, you know, actually getting up to take the time to do it is increasingly difficult when there are easier languages to learn. Like, I actually prefer speaking in Estonian, of all things, in comparison to English. And so if I wanted to, you know, just learn all these lines of Estonian, it's not even particularly hard because it uses the Latin alphabet and the sounds are pretty fucking similar to English. And so if I wanted to spend a solid 4 or 5 months just doing that all the time, I would be able to do it. Whereas with Japanese, you have to spend, you know, 3-4 years to get to fluency. And That's daunting work. It's daunting work, man. Let me see here. Interesting. Yeah, it's an interesting read. The book doesn't cost that much. You can find a PDF of it online. Um, but like with I think what I need to do in order to motivate myself more to learn Japanese, because I've wanted to learn this language for like 2 fucking years now, is that what I need to do is just look at it day by day to where, okay, instead of learning, having to learn 2,000 kanji and then having that be my goal, I just learned 15 kanji a day. Well, that's actually tangible. So you break up the big goal into a bunch of smaller goals, and then that makes it easier to do it day by day. I think I should just do that, because, like, as much fun as I am having learning other languages, like, that is the one that I've wanted to learn for so long now, that it would be stupid for me not to put more effort into it, especially when I have the resources right in front of me. Okay, this world is fucking boring. There's nothing going on here. There's literally nothing going on. I'm gonna... There's a specific online world that I like using that I want to go to. That I have it favorited. Does no one ever joins this server anymore? The non-compete Minecraft server. You see, I know the password for it because he said it on a live stream. But it takes quite a bit to load. Is that it's a really fun Minecraft server though. I wish people would actually go on it, because it could be like one of the best ones if people just went on the damn thing. Oh, is Minetest glitching out? Okay, no, it's working. Okay, Starcoon joined the game. Here we are. Woo! Yeah, this server, it's decked out. There's just a bunch of stuff going on here. Like, look at this. Is that they've spent so much time building all of this stuff. It's incredible. Like, it seems like there's actually more stuff that was built since the last time I was in here. Our extra equipment inside. I don't need extra equipment, I just want to explore. But there's, like, I was in here only 2 days ago. Maybe yesterday, I don't know. But it seems like they've already built more stuff. What the hell? How did they do this? They just keep building on top of it as time goes on. Like, in the matter of 2 days, there's already more stuff that's been built. What the hell? See, these people, this is what I'm talking about. This is anarchism in action right now. See, now I can use a bridge and I can get over here to this island. Is that a cross over there? Let me see this. Is there actually a cross? We're making our way. That is actually a cross. Wow. There's Christianity symbolism in this world. This is something I can appreciate. There's a little house over there on this colonized island. I'm gonna become a neo-colonialist as I play this game, by the way. That is undoubtedly my goal. Yeah, I'm here to colonize this Minecraft server. See, they're making food and stuff over here. They've become food self-sufficient. I have to eat food in this specific mode of the game, I'm pretty sure. Like, they have train tracks and stuff everywhere. They spent so much time on this. Let me see what's going on in the chat. Japanese is so hard to learn, the Holy Cross. Yeah, like, I feel like any language is going to be hard to learn. But the thing that makes Japanese difficult is just the writing system. If you can get past the writing system, you should be okay. In terms of speaking Japanese, I would argue that speaking Japanese is actually easier than the majority of languages because it's not too difficult to pronounce. Like most of uh, most of the words operate on the same logic, where all of them are going to be pronounced a, I, U, E, O. That is the continual logic that defines the language. And so, you just have to apply that to other sounds, so you get ka, ki, ku, ke, ko, sa, shi, shu, se, so. It keeps going on like that. And so if you understand the makeup of the language, the sounds that build all of the words, then it's going to be really easy to speak because, unlike English, the sounds don't change very often. Ta, for instance, I believe the kanji for that, looks like a square with a line through it, and then that is for rice field. That's the kanji for rice field. But ta, as a word, is pretty simple because you already know that the sound a is going to be a sound in Japanese, that's one of the main vowels that they use. And so you just put T before A, and then you get Ta right there, rice field. And then the kanji for that's pretty simple. You just draw a square with a line through it. And then another line through that, if I recall correctly. And so, the sounds, the actual sounds themselves are very simple. They're not too difficult to figure out. They operate on a logic that's simpler than English in most cases. There's very, very few exceptions in Japanese, if any, to those sound rules. And so that can make it really easy. It's just the characters. It's just the characters that make it hard. The grammar isn't even particularly difficult. The only thing that you might have to worry about is honorifics. But once you get used to honorifics, it's not even that bad. So I don't know. Don't listen to the hype. Don't focus only on grammar. Just learn how to speak, and you use shortcuts to be able to learn the kanji. Like I said, James Heisig's book, Remembering the Kanji, is for a lot of people, it took them a long way. The idea of the book is that you learn it in 97 days. I think that's a little bit too extreme, but it is possible. There's a lot of people who, using that book, they learned all 2,000 in 97 days. Let's see here. Wow, this is cool. See, I don't know who built this. There's just random stuff out here, like this awesome treehouse. Is there a way for me to keep going? Is there more to see in this world, or? And see, up here, they built an entire highway. Now, in my country, America, the infrastructure is crumbling, and it's really bad infrastructure-wise out here, because, in a place like New York City, for instance, it feels like everything is going to break down one of these days. But look at these people. If all these Minecraft players had the money and the resources to build roads, and they had the education to do so, look at what can be accomplished, man. Obviously, that's an exaggerated example, but people are willing to do it. They like building things, so just send them out on a road and get them to build roads and stuff. There's tons of people who would do it, they just don't have the money. In my home state of Tennessee, you have areas where people are literally unpaving roads and then turning them into dirt roads instead of concrete. You know how bad that is for a vehicle? That they literally are unpaving roads. If we had the money, we could build so much cool stuff in the United States. But our tax dollars end up going to a $5 billion military budget. It's like I remember seeing an article recently that said something like the Obama administration had paid like $40 billion on nuclear weapons, and then the Trump administration did twice that or something to that effect. It's why? Who the hell are we gonna nuke? Why do we need this? Why are we doing this? It seems so silly to me, is that we're the most geographically secure country in the world, and yet we're spending all of this money on the fucking military just to go to war with countries that don't even have nukes in the first place. Like we go to Syria so we can get access to their oil pipelines. We shouldn't even be there. I don't care how bad the leader is. That's not our job. We should put that money into building worlds like Minecraft, man. That's the world I want to live in. Ugh. Good to know. Yeah, it's generally speaking, Japanese isn't too hard. It's just about motivation. Actually, if you want to learn Japanese, there's a website that I can link you, called All Japanese All the Time. It's by this guy Katsumoto. I'll send you a link in the chat. But AJAT is a method that a lot of people seem to recommend that they like a lot. And so if you want to learn it, I would recommend using this website. Or I'll send you a link to the book that I was talking about as well. I'll just send you a PDF that should help if you're interested in learning Japanese. Also, there's this guy called Tai Kim. He makes these grammar guides to Japanese, which this is basically like, this is most of what you need for Japanese grammar is just using Tai Kim's website. But I would recommend starting out. with hiragana and katakana, and then learning kanji before necessarily learning to speak, because you can learn the characters on their own, and you're much less likely to give up if you already know like 500 kanji characters, for instance. If you've gotten that far, it's unlikely that you'll give up, and so I've heard a lot of people recommend you learn the characters first, and it makes it easier to read stuff like Doraemon. Like, if you buy Japanese versions of the Doraemon manga, that's like $4 off of Amazon Japan. It's like nothing. And then the language is pretty simple because it's meant for kids, and so you can enjoy a great manga and then be able to be proud of the fact that you've progressed in Japanese so much, just from knowing some basic kanji and hiragana and katakana. I think it's a good investment because of that. This world is like the most woke place in existence. Like, there's so much to do here. That's the thing, is that they just built so much. This is the reality I want to live in. We got a donkey hanging around here. Good man. Okay, I'm bored now. I think I'm gonna head out and I don't know, maybe I'll study Japanese now that I feel like I've put the idea I've put the idea in my head to study Japanese now that I've linked you these sources, so I'm going to do something else. But thank you, Whoosh, for coming out to the stream, as well as anybody else who showed up, and I'll see you all later.